Alright, so we have ourselves some shiny breeding going on right now. I'm going to be taking this stream to see how long it takes to actually get a shiny Pokemon in the Gold and Silver Virtual Console. I've been doing this off stream for a bit, been trying to get a feel as to what's going on, and hopefully it actually turns out into something cool. Like, this actually takes longer than I expected it to for a couple of different reasons. I'm going to see how it actually plays out because the breeding mechanics in the future Pokemon games have gotten much better. You know, it's a lot easier to get an egg, it's a lot easier to hatch an egg with the introduction of abilities in future generations, and that means we can use like Flame Body and stuff to hatch eggs faster. But also, like I said, there's a couple of changes. So I did this in my Gen 2 breeding guide. There's a couple of changes that we've seen in Pokemon Golden, well, not even in Gold and Silver, but there's changes from that we're not used to anymore, such as when the daycare man steps out to tell you have a Pokemon egg, it's actually not within your line of sight. So because of that, you have to do a couple of runs, then check, then do a couple of runs, and then check, and then you might have an egg. Also, the egg cycles are quite a bit longer. I think it's only 43 steps from the bottom of Goldenrod City to the top of Goldenrod City. So we actually have to do this quite a lot, you know? To get 5,000, oh man, 5,000 steps, or not 5,000 egg cycles, but you know, 5,000 steps for the egg cycle. It's actually going to be quite a lot. So if we're only doing 43 each, that means one up and down is 80 something, and then we have to do that to get to 5,000. We could be here for a while, so that's kind of the point of this stream, is I want to see how long it actually takes to hatch a Pokemon. Because I have a Cyndaquil egg on me right now. I don't even know the status of it. Yeah, it needs more time. Oh my goodness. So it might not be this instant, you know, slamming out a shiny every 20 minutes because of 164 eggs. Because what we're used to right now is, you know, we can get 6 eggs in a couple minutes and then hatch an egg a minute or even sooner. I think it might be a minute and a half or something with all the mechanics going on, like Omega Green off Sapphire into Pokemon X and Y. So 1 in 64 sounds like a dream, but with this, it seems like 1 in 64 might just be on par for Shiny Charm Masuda method, except it's a lot easier to get because all you need is the Shiny Ditto, which is pretty free. All you need is 2 consoles. One console has a blue version, the other console has gold or silver version. Catch Shiny Gyarados, Time Machine, Ditto Glitch, done. Go and whip out a calculator and do the math and see like how long it should take, because I think it's 5,200 steps. So if we're doing 5,200 divided by 86, that means we need to go up and down 60 times 13. So that means it's going to be 700 seconds divided by 60. So that means it's going to be 13 minutes to hatch an egg? Are you serious? Is my math wrong? But I mean, this seems about right. You know, the egg hasn't hatched yet. We've been streaming for 7 minutes with almost constant movement. So I mean, even if it's maybe even more optimal, or maybe give or take a couple of steps, couple of seconds, stuff like that. I like this side though, because if you go up and down the left side, that girl, she can just walk in your way, and then that kind of bones you right there. So 10 minutes best to hatch 1 egg. Now, it does, like, it isn't bad. Like, it kind of depends on the amount of time that you're receiving it, because the initial egg delay, it's just a delay. So if you're receiving an egg hey, there he is, finally. So if you're receiving an egg every 10 minutes, that's bad. But if you're receiving an egg every minute, then that means you're still hatching a Pokemon every minute after the initial 10 minutes. So let's see how long it takes to receive an egg. Because at least it's faster. At least it's slightly better than the actual egg cycle. So we were able to receive our second egg inside of that. That's still not good. So yeah, if we were getting like 1 egg a minute and we were still hatching it at whatever rate we're hatching it, as long as it's coming in consistently, we could expect to get a shiny, you know, once an hour. That seems doable, seems realistic, especially with like the Pokemon Sun and Moon mechanics where it's automatically put into your box if you have too many eggs. So you can just kind of like cycle through and you don't have to worry about filling up your party too much. But with this, my goodness, you know, this is bad. This actually seems like, you know, you hear 1 in 64 odds and you think you're going to lose your mind. But nah. And I was more hyped, and like that's also why I like this video. No, I think this is a very informative stream, very fun stream, very good video overall. I'm answering questions, I'm giving my thoughts off about what's going on with this game. I think it's a good way of bringing everyone together for the stream. I think the stream's working out really well. But at the same time, I got the information I wanted, it just wasn't the result I wanted. I'm like, man, if it takes more than 2 hours to get a shiny Pokemon, that's bad. I was hoping that, yo, if I get a shiny every 40 minutes, and I make 40-minute videos just all day long of me hatching shinies, excellent content. No, it's just your average shiny hunting, guys. Don't get too excited. Well, I mean, you can get excited because it's still pretty neat. But my hype balloon has deflated a bit, and if I had an actual balloon, I'd make the balloon deflating sounds. But also, I'm not gonna risk that live. I've never attempted that sound before. I don't want to make a balloon deflating noise now. Okay, same species, same original trainer would be 0.04% better. So actually, it's not twice as fast for the idea. It's just low. It's just really at low odds. That it's 0.1% for an egg to be spawned per step. Pokemon Hypnosis isn't a ROM hack. YouTube video of self-hypnosis channel makes you think any Pokemon you want for an hour. I understand the mechanics behind hypnosis, and I actually did like one ASMR hypnosis video about League of Shiny Cyndaquil. Wow, cool. It only took us an hour and 50 minutes, but I mean that's what I like about it. The odds are low to where it can happen. So how many Cyndaquil did that take? And wow, okay, now the clip of me getting Cyndaquil is gonna be me wrapped around my old cringy ass League of Legends video where I do ASMR and I talk about hypnosis. I was like, ghosts are real. My house was haunted back when I was living when I had a house, and now I'm into hypnosis and stuff. I sound like a complete nutter this stream. So what do we got? Withdraw. How many Cyndaquil? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 14. So on the 15th Cyndaquil, with one, and there it is. All right, let's just have like a shiny box. Well, fortunately, when I switch boxes, it saves for me automatically, so I don't have to worry about saving. So we deposit Cyndaquil. That should go into box 3, and now we still have all these eggs. So let's break it down. I actually might try to condense this into like a nice video for how these shiny odds actually work when it comes to the shiny Cyndaquil or shiny breeding with Ditto. Because like I said, since it's 1 in 64, 1 in 64 feels better. Like, you know, it's not going to take 64 attempts. It just seems like randomly pulling a number out of 1 in 64 is just going to happen in less than 64 chances, as opposed to pulling a number that's 1 in 4,000, 1 in 1,000, 1 in 500. It seems like there's less room for error, and it might just be a faster overall experience. I've been seeing a lot of people when talking about these shiny Pokemon, when doing the Ditto shiny hunting, that they're getting it 1 in 20, 1 in 30 feeling. Then when you see like chain fishing, people can get it on their 40, 30 chains. Even SOS. SOS happens faster. DexNav, it all happens faster than the odds. So if we play under odds a lot of the time, you know, just like I said earlier on the stream, it feels like that you go below odds more often than you go above odds. So it could be faster in that regard. And since we're picking from 1 in 64, we might just slam shiny Pokemon a lot faster. Now, we did learn a couple of things about how the actual egg getting mechanics are. So with a Pokemon like Ditto, so if you have Ditto from Blue version Shiny Transfer, and a Pokemon that you've obtained yourself, the odds of obtaining an egg are 0.1% on every step. So that means we should be getting 3 to 4 eggs every time we're hatching a Pokemon. It takes 13 minutes to hatch an egg in Silver version, but you know, once you start getting a cycle going, you're hatching as fast as you're receiving the eggs. So if we're receiving an egg every 3, 4, 5 minutes, we're still only hatching, you know, 12 Pokemon an hour. So in theory, it seems like it'd take a couple hours to get one shiny Pokemon. Still pretty solid odds, but I think it's very hopeful. You know, every time you hatch an egg, you're like, oh, this could be it. This has a high chance. You know, it's greater than 1% with every egg. Regardless of how long it takes to hatch that egg, it's still a lot more hopeful. It still feels a lot better to receive that Pokemon. So yeah, the time it takes isn't that bad. We got it in less than 2 hours. So shiny Cyndaquil in less than 2 hours. Not bad. Also, we screwed up for 20 minutes. It seems like if you talk to the daycare man and you say no to an egg, it stops producing eggs entirely, because we had a 25-minute dry streak where we did not receive an egg, which means we were not hatching Pokemon for over 25 minutes. But now we're in a good place. We have a fairly regular stockpile of eggs. We have 4 eggs right now after just hatching a 5th Pokemon. If we get, you know, 1 or 2 eggs in the time that it takes to hatch 1 or 2 more Pokemon, we are in a good cycle. We're able to consistently hatch 12 or more Pokemon per hour, and with 1 in 15, seems like the odds could be about 2 hours on average. 2-hour average, maybe 3, maybe better if you have same trainer ID. So if you use Coin Case Glitch and you get a Ditto that has the same trainer ID, you can maybe speed that up by about 10%. Not bad. Look at the summary to see the sparkles. Okay, I'll do that at some point. But I just wanted to hatch this next egg. Because another thing I really like about it is that the odds of hatching back-to-back shinies are pretty good. You know, getting back-to-back shinies in any other format it's going to be difficult, but since this is the lowest odds, even though it takes a longer period of time between those odds, like we could just flip the coin twice. So Virtual Console, the Poke Transporter does not work until December, or they're trying to get it in for December for Gold and Silver Virtual Console. If this was a Gen 1 Pokemon, I could take this Gen 1 Pokemon, transfer it back into, use a time capsule to put into Gen 1, and then I could have that shiny Gen 1 Pokemon inside of my Pokemon Sun and Moon games. But with a Pokemon like Cyndaquil or Gen 2 Pokemon, going to have to wait until December. So technically, it gives me a good time to stockpile all of these shiny Pokemon and then just transport them over. And it's not happening. Not happening. Yeah, it's not happening. Alright. So we could have had back-to-back, but it's a fun game, you know? If I want to do this for days, if I want to do this like a legitimate shiny hunter, like how A-Drive has hundreds of shiny Pokemon. I don't actually know what his shiny dex count is, but since he's doing this all the time, instead of going for just one shiny, you should shiny hunt until you get back-to-back shinies like this. And that could be pretty fancy. So there we go. It's fun. It worked out. Might throw in some stream highlights. It's only 2 hours of footage, so it shouldn't be hard to find a couple minutes of stream highlights. No, like, okay, here's the thing. I used to have fears. Like, you know, the whole like, spooky houses, haunted, you know, fear of the dark and unknown places and all that crap. You know what changes that? Buying a house from 1916 and living inside of it. All by yourself. That, you know, I was still, like, freaked out by, you know, by some, like, spooky things. You know, we all have that when you're just like, oh man, I gotta wake up at 2 in the morning and just like dash across the house because I gotta use the bathroom. Nah. Hey, thank you very much, Shiny Hunter Luna, for your $1 donation. Like I said, every little bit helps. Thank you very much. I don't deserve money, but it's awesome when you want to give it to me anyways. And when you have a house that's that old and that spooky, you gotta get over your feels real quick, or else you're not gonna progress in life. You know that I manned up. That buying that house made me into a man. You know what else would also makes you into a man? When the lights turn on for no damn reason. That happened a lot in my old house. My old house, as much as I, like, whenever guests came over, whenever anyone came over to my old house, they're like, dude, this place is freaking haunted. I don't envy you for a damn minute. I'm like, what are you talking about that? Like, I always played it off because, you know, hey there, demons, it's me, your boy. If you show fear, that creates negative energy, and then that makes things even worse. So every time people are like, it's haunted, I'm like, no, I can say with absolute confidence from experience, this house is 100% not haunted. Now let's go down into my basement. Then that's when they're like, I'm not going in that basement. That basement is definitely haunted. This entire house, definitely haunted. Oh, by the way, I literally lived across the street from a cemetery. Definitely haunted. That's how my friends went. They're like, wait a second, isn't that the cemetery over there? I'm like, not haunted. Cemetery, no. They're not gonna haunt. See, they're already haunting the cemetery, so they don't get to haunt my house. And because of that, I like spooky things happen. Come home to the house, all the lights are on. Oh man, there's a burglar. Nope, no sign of disturbance, no sign of injury or anything. Oh, go to bed, wake up to loud banging noises, wake up to lights turning on. The basement lights did whatever the fuck I wanted. I was not okay with that. One time I woke up at 3 in the morning to a loud bang, basement lights on, heard shuffling, called the cops. Cops were like, dude, no one's here. Sorry for bothering you guys. I was like super paranoid and freaked out. But then after a while, you just gotta accept it that when you live on your own in an old house, could get robbed. Someone just might break in. That's gonna suck. I don't have like the generic fear of death. Got over my fear of the darkness or spooky things like that. I don't really care about dying alone at this point. After that huge breakup I had, I'm like, yeah, I'm just gonna work. I mean, fear of failure, I've already had multiple forms of failure. So, I guess I can't really think of much fear. Maybe like I'm not saying I'm extremely afraid of heights, but I have a fear of like extreme heights. You know, like free climbing a rock wall that's, you know, a couple 100 feet up. Yeah, I'll have a fear of that, thank you. Question for you guys. What is better or worse? Ghost Pokemon in the or like a ghost Pokemon? So ghosts in the Pokemon world or ghosts in our world? What's worse? That's a good question. The thing about ghosts in our world is we don't know if they exist. You know, like some people, they have their own experiences. They will swear up and down that they've had paranormal activity, that they've dealt with ghosts, stuff like that. Science hasn't been able to hard concrete prove anything. and there's a lot of skeptics, there's a lot of believers out there, so we don't know what's going on, but also it messes you up, you know, like people, they get mentally disturbed from it, they also experience like actual physical violence against themselves because of that, so we don't know, at least in the Pokemon world. At least in the Pokemon world, you know ghosts absolutely 100% exist. They are classified as a ghost. And also in the Pokemon world, I guess that gives you a bit more, like, safety, or not safety, but, you know, a bit more comfort, emotionally, spiritually, that there is an afterlife in the Pokemon world, or at least some form like that. Ghosts exist, so maybe your life doesn't end immediately, that you might be reincarnated as a Yamask, or you come back as a ghost Pokemon or something. But ghosts exist. However, ghosts will absolutely wreck you. You know, Haunter licks you, you die. You hear not Phantom, Gourgeist, you die. Phantom, yeah, if you die in the forest, you might come back as a Phantom or a Trevenant. You know, it's not all bad, but if you hear a Gourgeist's song, you're cursed. Gengar hides in your shadows until it eventually just kills you off. Like, ghost Pokemon, they're no joke, but at least you know they exist. So, what's worse? Not knowing they exist in our world, or knowing that they are real, and they'll mess you up, but at least but also in the Pokemon world, you have Pokemon. If a Haunter wants to mess with you, boom, you slap out your Pokeball, and it's like, Pikachu, just wreck that fool, and then you catch it, and now you have the paranormal power on your side.